There we go. All right, I decided to do a little update since the last we've exited quarantine. I'm not sure how the audio is going to turn out. There's a chainsaw running in the back and a few other things, but let's give it a shot. So uh, we completed our 5 days quarantine. On the fifth day, we were swabbed about 9 something in the morning, and then we were really trying to make her parents. Actually, her dad had his birthday. It was his birthday on that 6th day, so we were trying to make it for his birthday celebration slash church anniversary, which is here for them, kind of like back home. It's kind of like it's a church celebration, but it's also a family, almost a family reunion, because most of the family goes or has went to the church, has been involved. So a lot of the cousins and everything will come back home. So we were really trying to make that. So we asked the swab tester, what's the earliest she would figure we could get results. First, she said probably by noon the next day. I think she was just trying to not to commit to an earlier test. So we just said, really, is there any, possibility it might be sooner? She said, well, maybe dawn. So, I don't know what, 6 a.m. or so, break of daylight. So we were hoping, praying that it would be sooner than that. A kind of restless night. Every little while, I'd wake up, roll over, check my phone 3 or 4 times through the night, midnight, on about 3:45. Anyways, a little before 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. Roll over, check my phone, go to the One Health Pass, put in last name, the code they give you. That's how you're going to check if your COVID test, your 5th test, is negative, and you will have the quarantine certificate at that point. So you have to do it for each member of your household, or each member. So me and my wife each have an individual number. You have to check. You have to have both. So check mine. Tried not to get my hopes up too much. It was negative. So then, before I woke my wife up, I went ahead and checked. Be sure, checked hers. We were good. So rolled over. She's sound asleep. Woke her up, and we got rolling. So quarantine, basically what they said, 5 days. We had already prepared with the hotel prior day, settled up our bill, expecting that if we could go, we'd want to leave before the lobby, before they were really open. Plus, we didn't want to minimize any other things we had to do. So we called a friend of ours. He's a taxi driver, but he comes a lot of times. He'll pick me up from the airport. So we had already talked to him previous day and told him what we wanted, that we would like to make it to the celebration. So we were in. I'm gonna move away. Try to maybe move out of the way of the noise here. This is the rooftop of the hotel. We were in Lapu-Lapu at that's where the previous video, Dulcinea Hotel, and her parents are on another island, Negros Oriental. So from Cebu, you need to take. I mean, you could fly, I guess, but the kind of best way I know to do it is you'll take transportation. However, normal times we would have took the series bus. That's the cheapest route. This time we wanted to get there as quickly as possible, so we asked a friend of ours if he could take us to the port. Uh, Tangil, I probably pronounce it wrong for the locals, but close enough for Americano. So we went to Tangil, which is probably 2 hours with in a car. If you're going series in 3 hours ish, depending on traffic. Sunday morning, it wasn't too bad of traffic, so we were trying to make it for the first trip. Um, we were not able to make the first trip. We were like 15 minutes late, and that didn't wind up mattering anyways because the ship in Tungil got halfway across the sea, I guess, and or a little ways, and it was overheating. So they come back while we're waiting for the next ferry ride across. They come back, and we thought, well, maybe this is a good. But talking to everyone there, they said, well, the ship is overheating, and we don't know if it will be fixed today. Um, so the next option was either wait and see if it would be fixed. Probably wouldn't. Maybe it would. They only have one ship running. Used to, they had more. Uh, so we decided, talked to her brother. He said the better option would just be go down to the next port, the next one that goes, instead of going to where we wanted to go in Negros, which is Gihonglan. Again, I'm probably pronouncing it terribly, but instead of going there, you would go to Dumaguete. So that's about I don't know 2 hours, another 2 or 3 hours uh, out of the way, plus 2 or 3 hours back up the other way. So it's added about 4 hours to our anticipated journey. But it was the only choice available at that time. So we did that. But that's just kind of an update of where we are. So now I'm standing on the rooftop of St. Jude's. Uh, I can't remember St. Jude's Hotel here in Gihonglan, which is kind of near to her family's place. Various ones live around this area. Um, so that's the update as far as where we are. Um, you're probably more interested if you followed the other and if you're trying to get to the Philippines and then trying to travel around the Philippines. Probably more interested in our basically the difficulties or what will be required. I haven't. We've only traveled by ship, and it's only been that one boat ride, so I can't tell you what all the requirements are going to be. But from our experience there, they didn't ask for anything really. Um, I think on paper their requirements are a negative COVID test within 24 or 48 hours, maybe 72. Anyways, a negative COVID test, and if you're not vaccinated, and then or if you're vaccinated, proof of vaccination. So that was pretty much the requirements, and that's just coming out of quarantine. We went ahead and saved. I couldn't print it, but I saved the quarantine certificate for both of us. Screenshotted everything. Even did like you would do a print to PDF. Saved a PDF file on my phone for mine and hers of the quarantine certificate and of the negative COVID test results. Just in case it was asked for, we had that available. It wasn't, and that was fine with me. She went and bought our tickets, paid our fare, and she said there really pretty much didn't ask, they just asked for the money. So paid the money, and she got 2 tickets, and we were good. Really, once we exited quarantine, I haven't had anything. Really, haven't had anyone ask for any documentation. The only thing that's happened, if you enter certain stores, they're going to ask you to put your mask on. They're going to ask you to take your hat off. Normal stuff like that. But there was someone walking around here. Yeah, so pretty much standard stuff in the Philippines, with the addition of wear your mask now, some places, but outdoors, no one's wearing masks. Well, I won't say no one. Some wear their masks, some don't wear their masks. Some wear their mask here, some wear their mask here, and some wear their mask on one ear. That's whatever. So that's basically your choice, kind of like it is in the States. So, which I think is good. Indoors, most grocery stores, bank, official place like that, they're going to want you to wear your mask. When you go, if they got a guard there, depends on the guard. Just like going in the mall. Some of them are very strict, and some of them are just like there to be seen. So that's pretty much my experience. We did talk to someone, asked about flying, uh, domestic flights. We haven't flown. Probably won't fly because we're going to just stick around here mostly. We're going to head down, try Manhuyed. Probably, I don't know if that's right, but Manhuyed Sandbar. That's some place we've been wanting to go anyways. So we're going to take the family and do a little day trip down there. Thinking about maybe later, me and the wife just have a little mini vacation, maybe Sigihor, but all of that's by boat. Probably will go ahead and get another COVID test before we try to go to Sigihor, or I may try to get on the ship, and then if not, go get the test. But we'll see how that goes. The only thing I can say about domestic flights is what I've seen online. Online, they're, of course, you're going to have to look for the area you want to go. Everybody has a different rule. I looked at Dumaguete because I was thinking about flying there instead of doing what we did, but they didn't have a flight, anyways, from Cebu to Dumaguete, at least not in the time frame we needed. I don't know if they do other times, but the domestic requirements on paper, anyways, for Dumaguete would be, I believe, negative COVID test within whatever the time frame, 24 to 72 hours, something like that. That was pretty much it. That's if you're unvaccinated. If you're vaccinated, and then they've got vaccinated or partially vaccinated, boosted, so it's all different classifications. But basically, if you're to the max, you can just go. Most of the time, if you can't prove it, they're going to treat you as unvaxxed. So, so that's kind of, I've heard that. That's on paper. Did talk to one of her relatives, that cousin of a relative or something, that I guess he went to Manila and he's partially vaccinated. So basically, would be the same as unvaccinated. I think he said he did a COVID test and he was good to fly to Manila. And then he said, like, in Manila, they're kind of the same as here. There were places that no one asked for really documentation. There were places that you had to put on mask or whatever. But other than that, pretty much like here. But I've heard Manila is kind of the strictest. Cebu seems to be, due to the governor's stance on We should treat people as people, which I think is a good thing to do. Treat people as people, and that um, if we're going to allow Filipinos in unvaccinated, and we have a protocol there, then we can just allow, um, you know, people are people. So if the one's good for Filipinos, it's good for foreigners too. So she's just kind of going by that, which I think is reasonable. So that province seems to be the most reasonable. But in in paper, others are more strict. But in practicality, I think it's returning to normal, not this new normal, but normal. And that's my hope that we can get back to normal. Uh, if if I didn't have family here at this time, if I was just taking a vacation, I'd probably pick one that even on paper is is open for business. Uh, Thailand is opened up. There's pretty much, you know, just normal type of international travel things. You got to have all your documents, but that doesn't include COVID documents. It's just bring your passport. If you're from certain countries, have a visa up on arrival. Other countries, you would need a visa. So that's pretty much the update. Is it's not as bad as it sounds on paper once you're here, and even the process in the airport wasn't that bad. But I'm gonna move away again. Wasn't that bad, but just kind of you want to make sure you have all those, so you got to jump through all the hoops. But that's what you got to do if you want to come here. So those who have a reason to come, that's kind of the process. If you don't have a real good reason to come, I would hold off. Figure hopefully it will return to normal soon, but it's Filipino time, so we'll see how soon that is. And so that's the end of this update. Well, I know I've paced around. That's kind of, I like to pace around, walk around when I'm thinking. Well, just leave you with this kind of, this is the rooftop. They have events or whatever here at St. Jude's. This is kind of a local, it's kind of halfway westernized, halfway local, but it's where we stay a lot when we come here. Kind of, there's a couple of hotels. So if you're in Homeland, I'd say it's pretty good. Maybe I'll do a review later. There's some caveats that you should be aware, but it's a good hotel. So you can take a look around. It's nice. You got the sea view where we're right over there. Not too far. It's right centralized. You can walk to the store, walk to whatever you need within reason. It's not a big city, but yeah, it's nice. Looking forward to getting out and about a little more. Like I said, going to Manhuyed, maybe Dumaguete, a few other places, but mostly this is a family trip. This is, it's been since COVID, since she's seen some of the family, so and that's what this is about. But anyways, that's about it. We're gonna let you go now. All right, bye.